Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Excuse me. And welcome to our webinar, Fueling Performance, Why Workforce Nutrition Matters. We're very glad to have you here today to learn more about workforce nutrition and how it benefits your people and your business. My name is Kate McGarr, and I am from the Consumer Goods Forum here in Paris, France. And I'd like to take a moment to introduce our speakers today. We have Alejandro from the World Benchmarking Alliance, Barbel from GAIN, Kyoshi-san from Ajinomoto, and Nadia from JDE Peet's. And we would like to turn it over to Barbel if you'd like to give us a brief introduction about the Workforce Nutrition Alliance, which is a partnership between GAIN and the Consumer Goods Forum. And the mission that we have is to promote workforce nutrition as a better business practice for people and for planet. But before we get started, I'd like to first go to the antitrust caution statement as we adhere to Chatham House rules. If you could just type in the chat that you agree, we can proceed. Okay, thank you, everyone. And I will now pass it over to Barbel.
Welcome, everybody. And I'm so excited that you're here with us. And especially I'm excited because we today we want to invite you to join the journey of two companies that have been working with us on workforce nutrition, Ajinomoto in Japan, and also JDE Peet's from JDE Peet's, a coffee producer and tea producer. So we are very happy that you are here with us, and more so because we really can show how workforce nutrition works in factories for employees, and it can also work in supply chains. So today we really would like to show you what can you do with workforce nutrition in supply chains and at the workplace, in offices, and also in factory settings. And I'm very grateful that we, together with the Consumer Goods Forum, we are the co-host. We co-host together the Workforce Nutrition Alliance. The alliance is set up to reach more than 10 million in 2030, and we already reached 6 million people in the workplace with better nutrition in the last 5 years. So it's an achievement, and we would like to encourage you to join us and to support employees and workers, farmers in supply chains to have better nutrition for their own health and automatically for a healthy business. And we are today here with Alejandro Guarin from the World Benchmarking Alliance. And he would like to introduce to you the new benchmark, the benchmark which will be published in the first quarter of 2026, Agriculture and Food Benchmark. He will be with us and give us an introduction of the benchmark, and as a learning, for you to see how you can improve your scores in workforce nutrition, how you can improve your health for your employees and workers and farmers. And I hand it now over to Alejandro.
Barbel, thank you very much, and good morning and good afternoon to everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. I just want to do a very quick scene setting of what we measure and how we're going to measure it. But maybe just before I start, I'd like to just say a quick word about why we measure this, because it's important. And it's something that we've been doing really in partnership with GAIN for some years. And it's one of the issues that we look at as part of our comprehensive picture of how companies are performing. So as you know, the World Benchmarking Alliance is producing data on, or rather gathering data on, how companies are performing across different areas. And for us, for a very long time, on the food and agriculture benchmark, which is what I lead, this has been one of the issues that has kind of been there all the time. because it's significant for nutrition. I think it's also a significant issue of social equity. It's a significant issue for livelihoods. And often what the company does in workforce nutrition is a good proxy of what it does in other areas. If it cares about its workers and if it cares about giving the workers healthy and nutritious food, that kind of signals some forward thinking by the company already in other areas. So I just wanted to kind of start with why we think of workforce nutrition as one of the things that we benchmark. And this is the workforce nutrition is an indicator that is embedded both in our benchmark and also in our what I consider a sister organization, ATNI, the Access for Nutrition Initiative. From our point of view, we are looking at the 350 biggest companies in the food and agriculture sector, and that covers all segments from input producers to commodities, livestock, processors, manufacturers, retailers across the world. And we also look at across areas, including social, environmental, nutrition, and governance. And so the workforce nutrition is one of our, I think it's 40 indicators across these areas, and I'll go into a bit more detail on that. And I don't know about the technical side of ATNI, but just to say, I think ATNI focuses on a smaller set of companies, mostly at the manufacturing and retail level. So I'm not going to go into ATNI. I'm going to tell you about what we are looking at. And first, before I go into what we're going to do this next time around, I just wanted to show you what we found in the previous benchmark. And what you see here are the different elements that we consider when we assess the companies on workforce nutrition. And you'll see that the dark blue is the percentage of companies that do not meet our criteria or our assessment, and the light green is the ones that do. And what we see is that so it's not a great picture here. It's kind of like the first thing to say is like of the 350 companies, really only about 20% or so are doing something related to this. And we see a lot of progress on having a nutrition program or a nutrition focused health check, but then quite a bit on breastfeeding support, but then less on the others. So just to give you a sense of like where we are, I think the companies that are going to be speaking today maybe are a little bit further ahead. And I show this not to like blame and shame, but just to show you there's kind of work to be done. And so part I think of this webinar is to kind of get more people on board. We go to the next one. Then I'll get now into the current assessment and what we're doing. So we're currently in this year doing an assessment. We do it every 2 years. And so we're currently doing the assessment that is going to be published in 2026. We have, just very, very briefly, we have a research partner that helps us first to capture some of the information. It's really important to know that we base our assessments exclusively on what the companies disclose. We do not use secret or hidden information. It's only on what is publicly available from your company sustainability and other reports. So we have a research partner that helps us to capture first the information. Then we do an analysis, data cleaning, quality check, and then we produce an assessment for each of the companies. Then we give each company the opportunity to see the assessment that we've produced, and some of the companies in the room might have already heard from some of my colleagues asking to check whether our assessment is factually correct. And then after the company has the opportunity to respond, then produce the final assessments, and we expect to do that in January of next year. So that's kind of to give you, we're in the middle right now of the process, and we assess the companies by batches. So we'll be doing a batch of like 30 or 40, maybe something like this every week. So if your company has not been assessed yet, it will be done in the next few weeks. The architecture of our indicators is based around what we call measurement areas, and we have 4. One is called governance, which weighs 10%, and then we have health, social inclusion, and environmental performance. which each are 30%, and each of those has a number of indicators. The workforce nutrition is assessed within the healthy measurement area, which has six other indicators, which are shown here. Nutrition sensitive agriculture, healthier portfolios, protein diversification, marketing and labeling, food safety, and antibiotics. So this one of those 7. And then for the workforce, for each indicator, the way or the maximum score for each indicator is 1 point, and I'll get into that in a second, depending on the number of elements. And so where an indicator is an NA, because it doesn't apply to a company, then each of the other indicators is given equal, that we redistribute the weight among the other indicators. And I'll go into the elements here. Perfect. So what does the workforce nutrition indicator have inside? It has 4 elements. So we are looking essentially at 4 questions that we are asking of companies when we assess this. The first is, does the company disclose a program or policy for breastfeeding support? Okay, that's 1. Second, does the company report on a program to provide healthy food to its employees? Third, does the company report progress on providing healthy food to employees? And then the last one is, the company reports workforce nutrition programs for supply chains. So basically the first 2 are saying, does the company have in place in its company breastfeeding support and providing healthy foods? The third one is saying, do we have evidence of progress on providing that? So not just whether it has it, but whether it's getting better. And the fourth one is whether that program reaches workers in the supply chain. Okay. Now, just wanted to say, each of these elements, the whole indicator weighs 1 point. So each of these indicators weighs 0.25. So if the company is binary, it's yes or no. If the company has a yes for 2, then that indicator would be 0.5. If it has 3, then it would be 0.75. And if it has all 4, then it would be 1. The next slide shows you the comparison between the previous assessment and the current assessment. And there's a small difference. It's a subtle difference. The previous assessment had 6 elements, okay, which are listed here on the left. And the current assessment has been simplified to only 4, right? And it covers broadly the same things, but we were looking at a few more things in 2023, and we kind of merged things and simplify things, focusing in 2025 on the 2 main pillars of breastfeeding support and providing healthy nutrition at work. So the data that I showed earlier was the 2023 data, but what you will be assessed on this year is the 2025, the 4 elements on the 2025 data. And I see that Royce has helpfully pasted our methodology in the chat. If you want to take a look, hopefully all the companies will have heard from us on this issue and are in the middle of the assessment. I think there's one more slide, or am I done? Now I forgot. No, I think now I hand it over to Bärbel to continue.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
So, and yes, exactly. And I would like to continue from the Workforce Nutrition Alliance. We support companies with practical, applicable tools. So one tool is the Workforce Nutrition Scorecard. And you find the scorecard on our website. It's a digital scorecard. You can do, everybody can do it. And it's already done from more than 480 companies. And from 55 countries, so it works. And also the companies that are here with us, JDE Peet's and Ajinomoto, use the scorecard. So the scorecard really helps you to see where you are at if you want to start, if you want to really go into workforce nutrition. The scorecard helps you, and it's completely aligned with the indicators of World Benchmarking Alliance and also from the ATNI index. So the scorecard helps you, and we have, in fact, we look at 2 scorecard. We look at 3 elements. So one is the quantity of the indicator, and one is a segment is the quality, and one is the strategy. On the next slide, you see what you can do. It's always so we have a six-step approach. So as first of all, understand the concept of the importance of workforce nutrition. You can find it on our website that is in the chat. And then you can assess with a scorecard your journey. Where are you at? You can get some new ideas. You get some inspiration where you are at, in full alignment with WBA and ADNI. And then ideally you make commitments. So Ajinomoto made commitments at the N4G. So you can make Nutrition for Growth Summit, and you can also commit your actions publicly on your website that you are found by all the benchmarks. And then it goes about learning and planning and using. We are offering guidebooks, we're offering a masterclass, we're offering different tools where you can reach out to us and to support you. And then it leads to implementation and action. And why is it important? It's it really we have evidence, and we have also peer-reviewed evidence, published ones about that the productivity is increased of the company. We reduce absenteeism is reduced. And also from the point of view from employee retention is so you increase your retention, and because providing nutrition at the workplace really improves morale and helps people to stay at the workplace. They are grateful and feel better nourished, and in the end you strengthen communities and societies. And we will put some more links in the chat where you can see our evidence and what it's all about. And now, how can this scorecard help you, and really to meet your benchmark requirements and achieve impact, and also to get the highest scores in the upcoming benchmark? So use the scorecard and look at it and see. We have the feedback from companies. It really gives a lot of inspiration. So to look at it, where you're at, what have you done. And then it's important to set your own clear goals and which are aligned and to make them in alignment with World Benchmarking Alliance and ADNI. And you can also monitor progress. And our scorecard is so designed that you can monitor the progress of your different work sites, that you have access as a user for different work sites. You can really monitor your progress and see how it all aligns with your goals and commitments. And then, of course, reporting is possible. You can showcase your program. You can report about it, and that is what we can offer and what you can do. And I would like now, here are some more details, but I would like now to hand over to Ajinomoto, to our speaker from Ajinomoto. It's Kishomi-san Matsuno, and he is the Associate General Director, General Manager for Sustainability. We have been working with him for many years, and it's an amazing opportunity to hear from your concrete example of workforce nutrition in your company, and what is the impact for you as a company and also for your employees. And I hand over to Kishomi-san.
Thank you very much. Okay, just a second. Can you see slides?
Yes,
Okay.
you can see the slide. Can you put them into presentation mode? Then we can see it even better.
It's okay?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Kiyoshi Matsuno from the Ajinomoto Group. I'm very pleased to be a part of today's important discussion around workforce nutrition programs. So I will talk about our case today. So at the Ajinomoto Group, our founding aspiration is to help people eat well, live well. We believe this will be achieved by going beyond resolving food and health issues and contributing to the well-being of all human beings, our society, and our planet with amino science. Amino science is a collective term to describe the various materials, functions, technologies, and services derived from research and implementation processes that apply the power of amino acids. It refers to the Ajinomoto Group's unique specific approach to connect these to resolving the social issues and contributing well-being. The Ajinomoto Group aims to achieve sustainable growth by operating a wide range of businesses in countries and regions around the world, including seasoning and foods, which make up 60% of sales, frozen foods, which are 20%, and healthcare, also 20%, among others. As of 2024, the Ajinomoto Group includes about 34,000 employees worldwide, with 116 factories across 24 countries and regions. Our commitment to innovation is supported by a research and development team of over 1,700 people. This global presence has established us as a technologically led food and amino acid company with corporate culture focused on constantly creating new value. The Ajinomoto Group will contribute to extending the healthy life expectancy of 1 billion people through our approach to nutrition called Nutrition Without Compromise. This approach means promoting nutritionally balanced meals by reducing salt, sugar, and fat, while promoting the appropriate intake of protein, vegetables, and fruits without compromising on delicious taste, access to food, or local customs and flavors. The Ajinomoto Group believes that well-being of our employees is fundamental to this mission and is integral to our Ajinomoto Group Creating Shared Value, ASV framework, which lies at the heart of our business strategy. As our former CEO emphasized, shown on the right side of the slide, supporting employees' mental and physical health is essential to driving both employee engagement and business performance. While workplace nutrition is a goal across many industries, as a global food and health company, the Ajinomoto Group believes it has a unique responsibility to improve the nutrition of its own employees as it works to make a positive impact on society. Therefore, this is embedded in our approach to nutrition without compromise, shown as PLUS, Workforce Nutrition Improvement. The Ajinomoto Group was founded in Japan in 1907, inspired by Dr. Kikuna Ikeda's desire to improve the nutritional status of the Japanese people. Since then, the company has consistently worked to support the well-being of both society and its employees. Our CEO reaffirmed this commitment by declaring that the Ajinomoto Group will support employee health and well-being as part of our broader purpose to contribute to the well-being of human beings, our society, and our planet with amino science. We are advancing employee health and well-being through a focus on self-care. Our vision is for employees to naturally improve their health and awareness simply by working at the Ajinomoto Group, developing healthy minds and bodies and helping to foster a culture of well-being. We also recognize that health initiatives must be adapted to local conditions. Each country and affiliate faces different realities, and a one-size-fits-all approach is not effective. So that's why we support tailored strategy that reflect the unique needs of employees in each region. At the Nutrition for Growth Summit 2021, the Ajinomoto Group announced 2 specific targets for its workforce as a part of its commitment to nutrition. The first is to improve employee health through our key pillars, providing healthy meals, offering nutrition education, facilitating health checkups, and ensuring adequate maternity leave. The second is to provide nutrition education to a total of 100,000 employees by 2025. Soon after, the Ajinomoto Group joined the Workforce Nutrition Alliance to promote workforce nutrition improvement activities across the group companies. The WNA's 4 pillars, healthy food at work, nutrition education, health checks, and breastfeeding support are the same as those in our workforce nutrition improvement activities. Nutrition education is especially important as the basis of our workforce nutrition efforts. While workplace environments differ across countries, we determined that nutrition education could be promoted in a unified way. In 2021, we launched a company-wide initiative that is still ongoing today. We developed the template materials that could be customized and distributed locally to ensure that the program reflected local dietary customs. A key success factor was the establishment of a common KPI, which enabled us to promote and track progress across the company, even in an area like nutrition, where it can be difficult to measure impact. This KPI helped maintain motivation and momentum among those leading the effort in each country and company. In 2024, we completed our first series of nutrition education, and although the data is still being compiled, we expect to have met our 2025 commitment to provide nutrition education to a total of 100,000 employees. In the Ajinomoto Group's employee engagement survey, which achieved a response rate of 97% from the over 34,000 employees, approximately 70% said that our health initiatives made them think about behavioral change and take action. Our next series will continue to address the main topics of health, nutrition at the workplace, global nutrition issues, and sustainability, and we'll aim to contribute to health and nutrition not only for our employees, but also for society and the planet. So additional examples of our workforce nutrition activities are shown here. To deliver healthy food at work, at Ajinomoto Brazil, we are integrating the health initiatives into the cafeteria based on the original concept of Kachi Meshi, which promotes well-balanced meals. This helps to support employees in making positive behavior changes in their daily habits. At Ajinomoto Thailand, we established employee welfare for complementary healthy meals, fruits, snacks, and drinks, which are provided to employees 3 times per week in the healthy options section of employees' canteens. We have also developed a mobile app named I Live Well that provides personalized health and nutrition information, such as records of nutritional intake, health check results, and recommended meal plans. For health checks at Ajinomoto Japan, we provide employees with annual health checkups, including 30-minute consultations with a health practitioner with individual health status accessible online. For breastfeeding support at Ajinomoto Vietnam, we promote breastfeeding support by encouraging the participation of all female employees in dedicated programs. We also provide private spaces as designated breaks to allow employees to breastfeed or express breast milk comfortably at work. 17 group companies across the globe, accounting for 70% of the entire Ajinomoto Group, are using the WNA scorecard to construct self-assessments and promote nutrition improvement activities through the Plan, Do, Check, Act cycle, PDCA cycle. Although there were some challenges in evaluating the diverse workplace conditions across the countries, combining the WNS scorecard with Ajinomoto Group's own supplemental guidelines helped streamline the process. Building on the experience and insights gained from these activities, we are now proposing initiatives that are suitable for the remaining companies. Through expansion of workforce nutrition programs, setting clear and measurable KPIs, and promoting external communication, the company has seen a 13% increase its weighted average for the Dublin Scorecard self-assessment from 2022 to 2023. In our engagement survey, 83% of employees responded favorably to questions related to health and well-being, including whether the company provides nutrition education and an environment that supports maintaining and promoting health, considering both mental and physical aspects. It can be challenging to provide concrete examples how workforce nutrition interventions impact employees' physical health. However, one example from Ajinomoto Japan shows promising results. Based on the results of annual health checks, the incidence of primary abnormalities related to BMI, blood sugar, and blood pressure were kept at a low level compared to general benchmarks. The Ajinomoto Group considers health checkups and nutrition education as the foundation for building a virtuous cycle of healthy habits and preventive health, especially among employees. These two elements not only serve as the basis of the 4 activities, but also reinforce each other. By understanding their health status through regular checkups, and employees are more likely to engage with nutrition education, leading to healthier habits and increased awareness of the importance of ongoing health monitoring. As a company founded in Japan, where routine health checkups have long been standard practice, the Ajinomoto Group recognizes their importance and sees them as beneficial for the entire group. We believe that access to personal health information is the first step in raising awareness and empowering the individuals to take ownership of their well-being. Employee health checks vary by country and region. In some places, occupational health checks are mandatory for factory workers. However, regular health checks, including blood tests for office workers, are only standard in some countries, such as Japan. I would like to introduce here its related 2 examples. In Ajinomoto Vietnam, we are expanding nutrition education and regular health checks to help prevent lifestyle-related disease. While the data here is from a few years ago, it shows improvements in several health indicators, including overweight, obesity, and hypertension. Recently, Ajinomoto Brazil expanded its health check program to offer a comprehensive preventive health check available to all employees. This initiative goes beyond the requirement of Brazilian law, providing voluntary health screening opportunities for all employees. The company believes that preventive health checks are key, allowing employees to understand their current health condition and motivates them to make healthier choices. So we aim to promote preventive health initiatives wherever possible. However, implementing health checkups can be challenging in many regions due to institutional and cultural differences, particularly where health data is considered highly personal. That's why we want to support each company in taking the most effective measures based on their local situation. For example, one approach could be the introduction of simple health and nutrition questionnaires, which could raise awareness and encourage the health habits where food checkups may not be feasible. So that's all from me. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Kiyoshi-san. And what I really appreciate, and I think for the people online, it's amazing that you could show impact figures, that you can show impact figures and impact figures that matter for your employees. Your employees are healthier, they feel better, they're more they're more productive and just happier people. And I'm very proud for you as a company, how far you came with the different tools, and how much you could really substantially improve the health of your employees. And now I come to the next company, and I'm very proud of JDE Peet's was part of our tea program in India, Kenya, and Malawi. We have been working for 5 years together. together. And I'm very happy that we have two people presenting, so not only one person. It is Nadia. She's a she's a director of sustainability at JDE Peet's, and also Viral Shet, and he's the global tea operation director. So two people will present, and and I think it's fascinating because now we move to the supply chain, and in the end, the nutrition and good nutrition in supply chains is really absolutely essential for securing your supply. And Nadia will start, and then Viral come in, will conclude and take over, and I will give it now to Nadia with the presentation.
Trying to unmute myself. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you well, Nadia.
And do you see the presentation?
If you go into the presentation mode, it will be easier for us. Otherwise,
Let me know when you can see it.
We can see the slides, but not the presentation mode. If
Oh,
you
it says sharing a window. Just a second. Give me a sec.
don't worry, all fine. And for the people online, we have a Q&A. We have a Q&A where you can put your Q&A, and we have also later on that you can raise your hands and speak up. So all is possible.
Does it work now?
If we can see the slides, and if you feel fine, then you can do.
Oh, so it's not on presentation mode because I have started the presentation. That is bizarre.
Yeah,
Maybe if I share the screen. Apologies, people.
No problem. We all have technological issues sometimes, and it's fine.
So if I share the screen and then I go into this and present as a slide.
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
Absolutely fine. Over to you. Now we can see it in full screen.
Super. Thank you, everyone, and also for this opportunity for us to be able to share today with you a program that we've been running with GAIN, as Barbel introduced. We've been partnering with GAIN already over 5 years, and we were looking at workforce nutrition in the supply chain, looking at 3 different countries. And we were in a coalition of other tea companies during this program. And the program came to an end with amazing results. I'm sure you can find more information about that. And then we sat down together with Viral, my colleague from the supply chain side and commercial. We said, okay, so what can we do that is tangible, that is part of our supply chain, and something that we can, without having to wait for others to act, that we can do together with GAIN. And this is how this program came into being. And I'll be sharing a little bit about the setup of the program, and then Vera will talk towards the end about what's happening in the field. So as I said, why nutrition? We all know in tea producing communities, there's lots of issues to be tackled, and each of these has a different solution. But in this case, in the case of nutrition, it is a fact, and we've seen data and numbers that have demonstrated that there is undernourishment in tea communities. And this actually has an impact on communities, specifically women and children. And here we're zooming into southern part of India in Tamil Nadu. The previous program that I spoke about, we had addressed together with GAIN in the Assam region, which is also a large tea producing area, but we felt we could act here in southern part of India. And the figures speak for themselves. What are the main issues when we look at the tea communities and the people working in tea communities and tea estates is, in the case of women, high cases of anemia and other issues such as overweight, but also children under 5 years, surprising numbers there with anemia being high on the ranking. And what are the reasons this is happening? Well, research has also shown, and there was various baselines that were conducted in this community thanks to GAIN and partners on the ground. The issue is a lack of diversity in the diet. So there's a lot of high consumptions of calorie-rich food rather than looking at the micronutrients of the diets. In the case of anemia, again, it's the lack of availability of nutritious foods and also the affordability of it. So it's not only a question of it being available, but can you get it at a price? If you're standing in a retail shop and you have two options at the same price, one is cheaper than the other, of course you'll go for the thing that's closer to your pocket. And then we look at hygiene and sanitary practices also in the community. And here we're talking about supply chain. So we're talking about worker nutrition. Research has also shown that, as a result of undernourishment and issues related to nutrition, if we are a tea company and work in looking for sourcing tea from estates, if you're unhealthy and you're not fit and you're not feeling 100%, obviously this also means that you're going to be able to be less productive in the field, and that also means productivity is linked to income. So there's quite a vicious cycle there when you think about it. So how are we addressing the problem together with GAIN? So back to Tamil Nadu, the issue now is actually what we want to do is to do it in a two-pronged approach. First and foremost is increase awareness and demand for better nutrition. So a kind of behavioral change amongst the communities. And once you're able to do that, make sure that there is access to the nutritious foods so that you're not just creating awareness, but then also access to these nutritious foods in your local retail shop. You don't have to go all the way to a faraway town or city to get it, and you're actually able to get it within the last mile. This program that we are talking about today is reaching over 8,000 tea workers and smallholder farmers across 12 tea estates in Tamil Nadu. The issue also is a lot of the workers and the working community are historically migrant communities who are not from that region. And so also that is another challenge that is hidden in terms of finding the foods in the area that they're used to from where they came from. So what are we doing? If I start with what I just talked about, first and foremost is create awareness, is really about changing and helping to influence behavioral change. And this is really, when you think about it, the importance of a balanced diet, and that includes consuming seasonal fruits and vegetables, not looking for expensive things that are out of season, but nature provides us with seasonal fruits and vegetables that are highly nutritious, using fortified oils for cooking, and of course, the importance of sanitation, so washing. And how is this then done within the community? As we all know, in any kind of interactions that we do, seeing is believing, and that leads to doing. So how are we doing that? Is really getting down into the community, engaging, mobilizing predominantly the women at the household level with cooking demonstrations, making it more engaging and interactive through competitions, but then also looking at focus group discussions with the workers in the field and understanding what are their issues, what are their challenges, so you're not coming with a solution that doesn't work for the community itself. So now, if you would think about having created this awareness and behavioral change, which obviously doesn't just happen overnight, it's a process, it's continuous improvement. You need to then also think about the demand and what is available in terms of the local shops. There you can see a typical shelf space of a local retail shop within these tea communities. It's usually smaller shops like this, with the shop owner selling everything that is usually in demand by the local community. What we've also seen in this program is there are opportunities already. So we're not starting from zero. There are convenient local shops like the one you see in this picture available all over in the communities. There are credit purchase lines available. You can buy at credit, so the affordability issue can it can be addressed, and are easily accessible because they're widely spread. However, we also see some gaps. So back to the issue of the availability of the nutritious variety of foods. So there's a limited variety in the products. Even if a shop owner wants to open up the variety and availability, there's a low volume that they can order, so there's not so much demand being created. Of course, some of these nutritious foods are coming from further away, so there's a question of distance. It's a question of getting it from the wholesaler down to the retailer, and there's no convenient door-to-door delivery. So what have we done? In order to improve this availability, we've looked at a market-based model and basically transforming these very local, real retail shops into what we're calling healthy line shops, HLS. And it works like anything else in the world. Demand and supply is what drives then the circle. So what happens is you have a healthy line retail shop owner who will then place the orders for a selection of nutritious foods that we have identified, that the community through the focus groups has also identified. You then have, through the program, we have connected these retail shops to distributors who are able to make bulk orders. Therefore, with the economies of scale, you're able to get better pricing and more convenient sourcing of your products. So these wholesalers are now able to bulk order fortified food items, milk, eggs, soy, fruits, vegetables, everything that is needed to fulfill this nutritious balanced diet. These orders are then shipped away from the wholesalers, well, with trucks and whatever means of logistics, and it comes back to the healthy retail shop. And the beneficiary at the center of it, the women and the men who are buying their daily produce from the stores, don't know all of that that's happening in the background. They just able to go to their local retailer and buy what they need. And as a result of making this whole cycle available with the bulking, with economies of scale, there's a better margin and also not as expensive as if you were to order at random numbers. So that's how, in theory, it all works. But now the more exciting part is really what's happening on the ground. And for this, I'd like to ask my colleague Viral to share what he's seen recently from the ground. Viral, over to you.
Hi, Nadia. Thank you very much. And please tell me that you all can hear me well.
Yes.
Because as exciting as it can sound, I'm right in the middle of the ground where the all action is happening. So as we speak, I'm in the plantation and just saw the activity rights live. And I couldn't be more happier than sharing this coming hot from the press at the moment. But you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Good. Now, first thing, let's start with, we're talking about tea here, and we're talking about the product which is coming from not so economically developed part of the world. And that's where it all starts, because then we are really working with a community which not only they have awareness or the access, but they do not even have the mindset to really focus on what is most important for them, and which is their health, which is how nutrition can really help them build their health. So it took a while, the way Nadia explained, to really bring this program to life. But every time when I go and see any of these people for whom we are creating this impact, the question is, what is in it for me? And very right question, because they have been living this life for long. They know what they're doing. They have a daily need to meet. They do not have that ivory tower sitting from where they can have these webinars and talk about it, but they have to live their daily life. And that is where we need to explain them that what is in it for you. And this is where we created this program, which eventually have come to life with creating a win-win scenario for everyone within the supply chain. When I talk about supply chain, let's start with where it all starts. A wholesaler. This wholesaler, the only question he had for me when I met him was, thanks to the program, now I have got more customers. I've got more people asking for the products. And because of that, my turnaround of the business, which has now improved a lot, and it has started to give me a better business propositions. He was happy. You could see this is the person I met in when I was there just few days back, and look at the smile. And not this was no induced smile. He was really with a glee smiling with what the program has done to them. But if you move a step further, what a distributor has to gain out of it, because he is not consuming anything, whatever he is bringing in. But what he's doing is he's, because of a better business, collecting things together. And then when he is distributing it to the retailers, he's making an extra margin, which otherwise wholesaler would have given it to retailer directly without any distributor in between. So this healthy line shop distributor is equally happy that he has got a better business model there. While we talk about those two at the supply on the beginning of the supply chain, talk about the retailers, he is now getting everything door delivered through this HLS distributor. Otherwise, he had to every single day, if not every single day, every other day, would be traveling on the hilly or on the treacherous path, would be traveling no less than 40 to 50 kilometers to bring in everything from the nearest city, which is that far. Now he's getting everything door delivered. He's getting better time for his business, for his family. He's really now making the best use of time while everything behind on the shop front is taken care of. So he's extremely happy as well. And finally, the beneficiaries for whom the whole program is meant, because of all this awareness which we have created, and now the access to those food which through awareness they want to go and buy is available at our doorstep. And that's how, when we create this model right from first initial stage of supply chain of wholesalers all the way up to beneficiaries, everyone have been enjoying, I would say, the benefits which we have been creating through this program. And mind you, this is not coming at any extra cost. This would have come at the same cost if they would have done it by themselves, but wouldn't have been privy to all the benefits that it's coming to them. Now, we also need to bear in mind that when we go to the tea plantations are really in a vast area. And this tea community, this plucker community, this plantation community lives within the plantations or at times at the periphery of the plantations. And that's where you see that it is extremely difficult for them to find a big shop from where they could go and buy their things. These are those small mom and pop stores, as we call it. And with that kind of a store now having been able to deliver the product which are more nutritious, what more can they ask for? And with our program, not only we have just created the access, but most importantly, the awareness. With that awareness, as what Nadia mentioned, we have now just covered 12 tea estates in one state of India. But within that 12 tea estates, which employs, and each tea estate employs more than 1,000 people at times on a peak season, and more than 60% of them is a migrant community who travels thousands of kilometers from one part of India to go to the other part of India. And that's where they stay. They have a clear focus on what they want to do. And nutrition never falls into that never makes that cut to on the priority list, and that is where we are trying to bring that. With this program, we have so far made difference in 8,000 workers life in the street 12 tier states, and the program is only expanding. The numbers talks for itself. I don't have to really prove that. If you really see from December till today, see the amount of nutritious food sale by each of the stores have increased. And this is where it all goes down to that finally consumers have started not only to be aware, but now getting an access. This is just some of the pictures which I could take just in my recent visit for few days. And not only I was just happy, and I was feeling so honored when I really met those tea community, these tea planters, these women who are actually plucking the leaf, who came from 2 to 3,000 kilometers away, and still they would not even had a chance to talk to me. They wouldn't even understand English. They wouldn't even understand my language, me being from that part of the world, and they would still have their own native language. But the common thread which was just binding all of them was health, nutrition, the food, the awareness which they never had. The whole life, I mean, if you really look at the picture which is on the bottom left, where I was interacting with this women, and I was delighted when they were talking about how from just those instant noodles and those biscuits which they were feeding it to their children. And then when we made them aware that not even at the same cost, even at a lesser cost, but we still can give them 2 eggs and a bananas and some vegetables, which will be far more nutritious and will be more healthy. And it was just all about making them aware. We didn't do any magic there. We just only sat there, explained them, and while we told them what they can do, instead of just making a plain rice, how can we really make it with a bit more vegetables inside, and just gave them a demonstration. We just gave them the cooking demonstration, and they were you could see the aha moment on their face. It was amazing to see that how they really took it in the stride and literally came up and said, we didn't even know that this was possible, and also not burning the hole in the pocket. And that's where it all goes down to that. That is a real impact. What we see together with GAIN is what we are creating. And it is just a beginning. It is just a beginning. There is a long road ahead of us. We're not going to solve the problem of this nutrition overnight, but every single drop counts. And this is where we started from. And the journey continues. I can go on this topic forever. I've seen this in personally with my eyes, and I cannot be more delightfully thanking the team here, but also to all those people back there who really entertained me with whatever they had to tell me. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Viral, it is amazing, and thank you so much for sharing for sharing your experience from the field, and you have been there, and it's it gives so much flavor. It gives flavor to a program that is done, and also for the audience. I think you must be very you have now a hands-on picture what can be done, and I really it resonates so much in the time when we have been in the field to see that women are empowered, and the empowerment of providing healthy food for the family is so huge, and the impact is so big. And I would like to thank you for this. I would like to thank Nadia and Viral for their contribution and bring us the real experience from the field. I'm grateful for Kiyoshi-san for his experience, and also showing the real impact, that can be measured and can benefit the employees and the companies, and Alejandro for really showing how your benchmark, and we are very grateful for the benchmarks because they really enhance the topic in a different way. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for showing the new methodology, and for all of you, please be engaged, and we have a newsletter that might bring you some new inspiration. Be engaged. It's worthwhile to really invest in your employees, in your farmers, and in your farm workers. They deserve it, and we all create a better world. And thank you for the good webinar, and I wish you a good day, morning, or evening ahead.